Everybody's going to ask you when you're training, how much do you bench? How much do you bench? Who cares how much you can bench? All I care about is how much I look like I can bench.
Hello， 大家好，我是金融小柯，欢迎来到我们的 The Secret of IFBB Pro 的第7期视频。就这个系列视频啊，最近有段时间是没有跟大家见面了，原因是比较忙，就是我也比较忙，然后教练那边比较忙，教练那边正忙着对我们这个战队健身房在做一个整体的改造，然后他在那边去搭了一个这种比赛的那种小的一个台子，真是牛逼了啊！好吧，然后回到我们主要内容，今天我们这个分享的问题呢，第一个是关于3大项的，就是有很多老铁在这个微博下面留言说，这个 IFBB Pro 职业选手他们平时会去做3大项训练吗？做得多吗？因为他们看到他们的 Ins 或者 Facebook 他们的训练视频啊或者片段怎么样，就是他们本身做3大项啊，就是很少，不是很多。其实训练视频里面呢，可能这个3大项的动作也不是特别多，所以说就比较好奇他们做不做。那接下来呢，就让我们教练 Ryan 来给大家去回答这个问题，就是 IFBB Pro 职业选手对于这个3大项的一个训练的频率。那当然了，他还会说到这个3大项对我们这个非职业选手这个训练的意义所在，然后需要注意的点，好吧？看视频。
The next question we were going to talk about today is, do pros deadlift? Do they do compound movements? Squats, deadlifts, bench press, free weight movements. Well, here's my tips on these exercises. A lot of IFBB pros, depending on the division that you're competing in, depends on which exercises we're going to really put a lot of emphasis in. Deadlifts are an amazing exercise for adding thickness and width to the back. It's one of the best compound movements to add a lot of extra muscle through the middle of the back, all the way through from top to bottom of the back. So yes, it does build a lot of mass. But a lot of the divisions, like men's physique, where they're looking for more of a smaller waist and a V-taper, a lot of times a lot of deadlifts can be detrimental to your physique. Along with building thickness in your lower back, it also builds thickness through the midsection and the waist, because you're doing so much stabilizing with your obliques and your serratus that the waist can tend to get a little wide and blocky from doing too many deadlifts. For most bodybuilders, it's okay to have a little bit more thickness in the midsection because they have so much mass up top in the upper body. For men's physique, you can outgrow the division, so you don't want to be too big. So if you make your waist too large, you're kind of putting yourself in a spot to where you either have to grow your shoulders bigger in order to match, which then you're going to grow yourself right out of the division of men's physique. So that being said, yes, deadlifts are a good movement, but I would do them very sparingly if you're a men's physique competitor. As a bodybuilder, the other side to that is the risk of injury. Now, deadlifts being a compound movement and something that a lot of guys go really heavy on, I can tell you personally from experience, I've torn my lat doing deadlifts. I used to love them, but they are a very dangerous exercise if not formed correctly. So if you don't have the proper form, I would recommend that you learn from somebody who does know how to do them. Start off slow and light and build your way up. So deadlifts, good exercise. For bodybuilding, for men's physique, not so much. Exercise number 2, free weight squats. Free weight squats, again, a great exercise for building legs and one of the key fundamentals to building legs. Now, one thing I notice most is that the weight that people are using is far greater than they can actually do. To do a proper squat and to do it correctly, you need to break parallel. It means you need to break 90 degrees. So it means your butt needs to be lower than your knees. If you break 90 degrees, you'll find that the amount of weight that you see a lot of guys in the gym throwing around is not possible for them to do and do it properly. So doing a 600-pound squat is not everybody's Ronnie Coleman, and not everybody can do a 600-pound squat. And you don't have to do a 600-pound squat to have big legs. Proper form is more important than anything, and especially when you're doing a free weight squat. You'll see that a lot of people tend to do more Smith machine on their squats versus free weight just because the risk of injury is a lot less. And we all know in this sport that if you want to be great, you have to stay healthy. So I recommend Smith squats over free squats for most men's physique and classic athletes. But that being said, I'm an old school bodybuilder, so I still believe in throwing free weight squats in there. So it is a great exercise. Just make sure if you're going to do it, you use a weight that you can actually do without having to have 3 spotters. The last exercise, bench press. I am not a fan of flat bench press at all. I don't have any of my IFBB pros do flat bench press for one reason. The flat bench press is the #1 injury exercise in the gym. I have seen numerous people tear pectoral muscles, tear labrums in the gym trying to do too heavy of a bench press. For that reason, I limit my flat pressing exercises to machines for most of my athletes. The flat bench actually puts very little strain on the actual pectoral muscles at all. You'll find that you'll get more interaction from doing any kind of incline press than you will doing a flat press. Everybody's going to ask you when you're training, how much do you bench? How much do you bench? Who cares how much you could bench? All I care about is how much I look like I could bench. So it's irrelevant. It's a very overrated exercise. I recommend when you're doing any kind of flat pressing for the chest, you stick to hammer strength machines, you stick to isolateral machines so that you can still control it, you still get the free weight motion, but you're not risking the rest of your career by tearing a pec and being done bodybuilding for the rest of your life.
刚才呢，就是我们教练 Ryan 对这个三大项深蹲、硬拉、卧推的一个细致的一个分享。这里我需要跟大家说一点啊，就是教练的意思，他并不是说这个职业选手他们平时不做，而是说他们有的时候因为这个比赛的不同的项目，他们可能会增加这个训练频率或者减少训练频率。比方说他们可能打这个古典健体，或者说打这个闷死的这个健体，那他们平时这个三大项的训练频率可能没有那么的高，可能不像很多 powerlifting， 就是我每次就专门的练一个这个卧推，专门的练个硬拉，专门练个深蹲，就没有那个样子。所以说这个训练频率是根据你的这个组别来决定的。然后第二点呢，就是如果你本身掌握这个动作到位，然后姿势没问题，然后发力点也没有问题，那你可以去做这个三大项的一个训练，然后上重量没有问题。但是如果你本身这个动作就没有掌握的很好，然后你本身感觉，比如说教练举了个例子啊，深蹲，你像他根本就没有说那个低于90度，可能就稍微蹲一下，起来的时候蹲起来。那你这样做的话，即使你冲了一个很大重量，不仅对你这个本身训练没有什么效果，而且还容易造成一些损伤，你知道吗？综上所述呢，如果说你去平时打这个健体比赛的话呢，那你这个训练频率不用太高，然后也没有必要去时常的去冲击你这个极限重量，没有必要。那如果你不比赛，只是一个爱好者，那平时你这个动作掌握没问题，那你可以把三大项融入到你训练里面，那你可以频率多一点，这个都没有任何关系，只要保证一点不受伤。教练里面说一句话非常关键，就是如果你想在健身这个领域里面就是长久，那必须保证身体健康，这个才是最重要的。好，那接下来呢，我们这个第二个问题是关于我们训练计划的。就有很多人他们不知道去如何安排自己的训练计划，比如说我是最开始先做这个复合运动啊，还是先做这个孤立训练啊，还是先做这个充血组啊，还是说这个先进行比如说一些自重的热身啊，他们都不知道。那我们应该如何去安排自己的训练计划呢？来听听我们教练 Ryan 怎么说。
So question number 2 for the day. Everybody wants to know, how do I arrange my workouts? How do I set up? Do I do my burnout sets first? Do I do free weights first? Do I do compound movements first? There really is no right or wrong answer to this. The one thing that I can tell you is the most important about continually growing and bettering yourself in the sport of bodybuilding is change. Right? It's change. It's switching up so the body's not getting used to the same old stale routine. With that being said, there is a little bit of rule of thumb that I like to stick to. When you're training, you want to make sure that the exercises that are going to require the most amount of energy and they're probably the most effective exercise is going to be your compound free weight movements. You want to make sure that you're doing those movements with full strength and full energy. Those are more your mass building exercises. So I recommend that early on in the workout you start with your heavy free weight motions. Now that being said, before you get started on any of these exercises, I believe in doing some sort of body weight or lightweight exercise first. So a good example is we're talking about deadlifts. So if I were going to arrange a back day, I'd recommend starting with body weight chin-ups first, just to get the back warmed up, stretched out. Then I'd start right away with my big heavy compound movements. The deadlifts, the bend over rows, the dumbbell rows, the T-bar rows, the exercises that you're going to need all your energy to perform them properly and heavy. Then towards the end of the workout, I like to finish with more of the isolation squeezing exercises. A little more high volume, a little more controlled, and a little more isolated and contracted movements. Those being a lot of seated row machines, hammer strength machines, or even cable machines, which a lot of them just have a really good contraction. And it's good because you've already pre-exhausted your muscles from doing the heavy stuff first, So that those machines now that would have felt light when you first started your workout, now are going to feel pretty heavy and effective. So that's a technique that I like to use. It's called pre-exhaustion. And that's the best way to set it up. So start with a warm-up type of exercise, then kick off your workout with your heavy compound movements, and then finish with your light squeezing machines and isolateral machines.
刚才呢，就是我们教练 Ryan 对这个如何去安排我们的训练计划他的个人看法。同时呢，他也把自己的一个训练计划的安排给大家去分享，来举了个例子。我个人觉得他这个整体的一个训练安排是非常合理的。但是不知道你有没有注意，最开始教练说，就是这个世界上他没有一个绝对正确的训练计划适用所有的人，因为每个人这个情况都是不一样的。举个例子啊，那有的人可能在最开始的时候，他们适合去做这个孤立型的训练，他们认为我们做孤立型训练可以向目标肌群进行预热，然后先感受这个刺激，建立这个 muscle connection。那之后呢，我们在做一些复合训练动作的时候呢，它可以更好的去刺激我们目标肌群。那比方说，有的人他们最开始喜欢做充血组，他们喜欢最开始那种先找到这个泵感，因为有时候泵感可能中间才会出现嘛。那如果最开始找到泵感，那会有利于他们之后的一个训练的安排或者训练的一个进程。所以说，从这种情况来看，就是每个人他对这个训练计划，对每个动作，比如孤立啦、复合啦等等之类的感受都是不一样的。那你如何去安排自己的训练计划呢？我个人的建议就是，你要去尝试不同种类的这个训练计划，因为你这个试一试又不会死，试一次又不会死，同样是训练，对吧？那无所谓啊。那你像我来说，我平时就比较喜欢去尝试一些这个不同类型的这种训练计划。那你看我的视频应该知道，那我的目的就是想，我要去找到这些训练计划里面可能某个动作让我身体反应比较好，可能它的安排顺序对我的身体反应比较好，那我会总结下来，然后自己呢会安排成我自己一套的训练计划。那久而久之，我就会找到适合自己身体那种状态的一个训练计划。可能这个计划并不是适合你，但是它绝对是适合我的。那我如果想要去成长，如果想要去变得更强大的话，那我就会按照我这个训练计划坚持下去。所以说如果大家真的想去找到这个所谓的绝对计划的话呢，我们先广撒网尝试不同的训练计划，然后从中间挑取适合自己的部分，然后结合到一起，最终形成自己的一套私人训练计划。这个计划就是你自己的训练计划。好吧，今天我们这个视频分享到这里，如果有什么问题呢，可以在我们底下去留言。如果这个视频有帮助，那点赞、转发和评论都是可以的。好，拜拜。